Welcome to the channel. We're about to celebrate the 250th birthday of the United States. That got me thinking, where did it all begin? Let's take a journey back in time to the places where America was born. We'll explore the rooms where history was made, the trails patriots walked, and the battlefields where they fought for a new nation. From Philadelphia to Boston to Virginia, we're hitting the most iconic and important sites that shaped America. So grab your hat. Let's hit the road and see where the American story began. Who knows, maybe we'll even run into the ghost of Benjamin Franklin. Let's go. First stop, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This city is often called the birthplace of American democracy, and for good reason. Its streets are steeped in history, and every corner seems to echo with the footsteps of revolutionaries and visionaries who helped shape a nation. Right behind me, Independence Hall. It's not just a building, it's a living monument to the ideals that founded the United States. This building is the birthplace of the United States. Within these walls, the seeds of liberty and self-government were planted, and the course of world history was forever changed. In 1776, delegates from 13 colonies gathered here to debate, argue, and ultimately sign the Declaration of Independence. The air must have been thick with tension, hope, and uncertainty as they took this unprecedented step. Imagine the courage it took to sign that document, risking everything to break away from the world's most powerful empire. These men knew they were committing treason in the eyes of the British Crown, yet they pressed forward, driven by a vision of freedom. John Hancock's bold signature, that's the spirit of the place. His name became a symbol of defiance and leadership, inspiring generations to stand up for what they believe in. 11 years later, they returned to draft the U.S. Constitution, creating the rulebook for a brand new country. The debates were fierce. The compromises hard-won, but the result was a framework that still guides America today. The Assembly Room, with Washington's famous rising sun chair, still echoes with the voices of revolution. You can almost hear the passionate arguments and the dreams of a better future reverberating off the walls. Benjamin Franklin wondered if the sun was rising or setting on the new nation. Spoiler, it was rising. That chair became a symbol of optimism and the dawn of a new era. Independence Hall is more than bricks and mortar. It's a symbol of courage, compromise, and the belief in self-government. It stands as a reminder that ordinary people can do extraordinary things when united by a common purpose. Across the street you'll find the Liberty Bell, another icon of freedom. Its famous crack and enduring message, "Proclaim liberty throughout all the land," continue to inspire visitors from around the world. Standing in the Assembly Room, you're on the ground where democracy was born. It's a humbling experience, knowing you're in the very spot where history was made. The decisions made here changed the world. The ideals forged in this room have echoed across continents and centuries, inspiring movements for freedom everywhere. If you're ever in Philly, this is the must-see headliner. No visit is complete without standing in the shadow of this historic landmark and reflecting on its legacy. Independence Hall is where the American experiment began, and you can feel the gravity and hope of that moment. Absolutely incredible. It's a place that reminds us all of the power of ideas and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Next up, Boston, a city where every corner seems to echo with the footsteps of history, and where the past and present blend seamlessly together. The best way to experience its revolutionary spirit, the Freedom Trail, a living timeline that guides you through the heart of America's fight for independence. This iconic red brick path winds through the city, connecting 16 historic sites in just 2.5 miles. It's more than a walk, it's a journey through centuries of stories, struggles, and triumphs. Start at Boston Common, the oldest city park in the U.S., where revolutionaries once gathered. From there, follow the trail past the gleaming golden dome of the Massachusetts State House, the historic Park Street Church, and the Granary Burying Ground, final resting place of Paul Revere, Samuel Adams, and John Hancock, whose names are etched into the nation's story. The Old South Meeting House was the spark that ignited the Boston Tea Party, while the Old State House stood witness to the Boston Massacre, a pivotal moment that fueled the call for liberty. Faneuil Hall, known as the Cradle of Liberty, was where fiery speeches and passionate debates rallied colonists to the cause of freedom. Today, it's still a vibrant gathering place, buzzing with energy and history. Walk through the charming North End, with its cobblestone streets and old-world charm, to the Paul Revere House and the Old North Church, famous for the one if by land, two if by sea lantern signal that changed the course of history. The trail ends at the towering Bunker Hill Monument, commemorating a key Revolutionary War battle, and the USS Constitution, the world's oldest commissioned warship still afloat. Walking the Freedom Trail isn't just a tour, it's a journey through the heart of the revolution, where every brick and building has a story to tell. Every step connects you to the people and events that shaped America, from bold patriots to everyday citizens who dreamed of a new nation. It's the best history lesson you'll ever get. Just keep walking, and let Boston's revolutionary spirit inspire you with every step. Now we're at Mount Vernon, the historic home and sanctuary of George Washington, America's first president. Nestled on the banks of the Potomac River, this estate is more than just a house. It's a living piece of American history, preserved for generations to experience. Washington wasn't just a general and president, he was a farmer, inventor, and entrepreneur. He poured his energy into every aspect of Mount Vernon, shaping it into a model of innovation and self-sufficiency. His vision extended far beyond politics, influencing agriculture and industry in early America. The estate was massive, stretching over 8,000 acres at its peak. Washington was always experimenting with new farming techniques, crop rotations, and livestock breeds. He even built his own distillery, which became one of the largest whiskey producers in the country at the time. The mansion itself, with its iconic porch and sweeping views of the Potomac, is preserved just as it was when George and Martha lived here. Walking these halls, you can almost imagine the conversations and decisions that shaped the nation. You can walk through his study, where he planned military strategies and managed the estate, and the dining room where he entertained world leaders and guests. The reconstructed slave quarters remind us of the enslaved people whose labor made Mount Vernon possible, an essential, sobering part of the story. Mount Vernon doesn't shy away from the complexities of history. Through exhibits and guided tours, it offers a fuller, more honest picture of Washington's life, his achievements, and the contradictions of his era. The grounds are beautiful and meticulously maintained, with lush gardens, a working farm that still produces crops, and the tomb where George and Martha are buried, a place of reflection and remembrance. Standing here, you see Washington as more than a face on the dollar bill. You see the man, the leader, and the enduring legacy he left behind. His presence is felt in every corner of the estate. Visiting Mount Vernon is a moving, essential experience for anyone who wants to understand America's founding. It's a place where history comes alive, inviting us to reflect on the past and its impact on our present. Valley Forge wasn't about politics, it was about survival. In the winter of 1777-78, Washington's army camped here after losing Philadelphia to the British. 12,000 soldiers arrived, exhausted and poorly equipped, building over 2,000 log huts from scratch. Food was scarce, disease rampant, and many had no shoes. Around 2,000 died, not from battle, but from exposure and illness. But this is where the Continental Army was forged. Washington's leadership kept the army together. He stayed with his men, sharing their hardships. Then came Baron von Steuben, a Prussian officer who drilled the troops into a disciplined fighting force. By spring, the army emerged transformed, ready to stand toe-to-toe with the British. Valley Forge was the turning point, the crucible where the American spirit was tested and proved. Today you can visit reconstructed huts and Washington's headquarters, and reflect on the resilience that defined the Revolution. Now we're at Yorktown, the final showdown of the Revolution. In 1781, British General Cornwallis set up camp here thinking he was safe. Washington and French General Rochambeau marched their armies south, while the French Navy blocked the British by sea. Cornwallis was trapped. No escape. The siege lasted 3 weeks with relentless cannon fire and daring attacks, including Alexander Hamilton's famous charge on Redoubt 10. On October 19, 1781, the British surrendered. The band played "The World Turned Upside Down." This victory convinced Britain to negotiate peace, leading to American independence. Walking the battlefield, you feel the finality and triumph of the Revolution. This is Paul Revere's house, the oldest in downtown Boston. On April 18, 1775, Revere set out from here on his legendary midnight ride. The real story. Revere and William Dawes were sent to warn Samuel Adams and John Hancock that the British were coming to arrest them and seize weapons in Concord. Revere arranged the 1 if by land, 2 if by sea lantern signal at Old North Church, then crossed the river and rode through the night, quietly alerting patriots. He made it to Lexington, warned Adams and Hancock, and set off for Concord with Dawes and Dr. Samuel Prescott. Only Prescott made it all the way, but Revere's warning set the revolution in motion. The next morning, the shot heard round the world was fired. Standing in this house, you feel the urgency and courage that sparked a revolution. For our last stop, we're stepping into the past, Colonial Williamsburg, Virginia. It's the world's largest living history museum, recreating an entire 18th century town. Historical interpreters bring the era to life. You can talk to them, watch tradespeople at work, and walk the same streets as Jefferson and Washington. Visit the Capitol, the governor's palace, and restored shops and homes. Williamsburg tells the full story, including the lives of enslaved people who made up more than half the population. Through immersive programs, you hear voices often left out of history. Colonial Williamsburg makes the revolution real, putting names, faces, and stories to the struggle for liberty. That's our Revolutionary America road trip. From Independence Hall to Yorktown, these places bring history to life. As we approach the 250th anniversary, there's no better way to connect with our past than to walk in its footsteps. I hope you're inspired to visit these sites, bring your friends and family, and experience history firsthand. Let's celebrate not just the past, but the ongoing American story we're all part of. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more adventures. Which historic site would you visit first? Let me know in the comments.